Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I thought we could just sit down together. I'm gonna get ready for the day and I figured I could just chat your little ears off for the next 30 minutes or so. So I have all my makeup here and I just have some updates for you guys. I have some things to chat about and yeah, I feel like it's been a little while since I've done a get ready with me. I think I did a get ready with me as a part of like my Vlogmas series, but I haven't really chatted to you guys since. And to be honest, there has been a lot going on this year and I just felt like sitting down and having a chat about it. Instead of talking about all of the makeup products I'm gonna use today, I might just put them in the description or in the comment section below. So if you're curious on what makeup products I'm using today, then I will list them down there. You guys, I'm seriously not having a good run at it today. I had all my makeup in our ensuite and I had to transfer it all here. So this is just like our spare bedroom at the moment. And when I was grabbing all of my makeup, I dropped my Rare Beauty highlighter. If you guys have the Rare Beauty highlighter or the Rare Beauty blush, you would know this stuff is so fragile and it fractures or breaks so easily. Oh, it hurts. No, I'm so upset. It literally just all fell on the floor, but this was so perfectly intact and I just ruined it and I am so devastated. I don't know why, but for the last few nights, I have not been able to sleep. I feel so tired today, guys. I don't know if you can tell by my Gucci bags underneath my eyes, but I just have not been sleeping well. I don't know what it is, but last night in particular, I had some nightmares and they freaked me out a little bit and then I couldn't go back to sleep. Plus, because of my job, I am a reformer Pilates instructor, so I kind of get up early most days, and I'm talking like 4:30 a.m. earliest. And lately, I've been doing a lot of early morning shifts, which means my body clock is used to getting up early. So even if I go to bed at like 12 o'clock, I get up at like 6 a.m. while my body clock gets me up at 6 a.m. I love that for me. So this morning, my body clock woke me up at 6. And I literally didn't go to bed till 12 o'clock last night. So I was not prepared to get up at 6. Then I tried to sleep for a little bit longer, but because I had my nightmare and woke up from that, I literally couldn't sleep. So this morning I just went for a nice walk. I absolutely love going for walks now that it's a bit cooler because you're not gonna go outside and sweat your balls off when you're going for a morning walk. So I love those like cooler morning walks. Anyway, so I ended up going for a walk and it was so nice. I just felt like I really needed that to start my day today. What else have I been doing today? I've been filming some content for you guys for my TikTok and Instagram, and then I had to run some errands. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of was, I wasn't sure if I was gonna film this today, to be honest. But I just had a snack and that made me feel a lot better. So here we are. So if you guys have been keeping up with my vlogs, you would have seen that earlier this year in February, Hayden and I went over to Japan to go snowboarding. And while we were there, we went to Disneyland and Universal Studios and we had the best time. It was so fun. However, I think we were on like day 2 or day 3 or something like that anyway of our snow trip. And Hayden had a bit of a fall and fractured his shoulder. I could not believe it. He was not going fast. He was on this really small incline, literally heading to the first lift of the day. And we were going really slowly down this incline to the first lift. And then he just kind of slipped a little bit and then he reached out, put his hand out, and then his shoulder actually popped out. So I think it subluxed or something. So his shoulder popped out and I think it eventually came back in. But the problem is on the way out, it has snapped his socket, like he fractured his socket. So that kind of stopped him from snowboarding for the rest of the trip. And so I just had to go out every day with our friends and stuff, and Hayden would come up to meet us for like coffee or for lunch and stuff like that. So I'm really glad that he was still able to kind of like get amongst it somewhat. It was really good that I had friends to go out with. I'm not sure if I would have gone out there alone, to be honest, because if anything happens, then you're on your own. But I decided to go out there with some friends and stuff and we had a really good time. I was just so bummed that Hayden had injured himself and it was so bad that he couldn't go back out. Literally the day after, or when it happened really, I was thinking about packing up and literally coming home because I think I was more upset than he was, to be honest, because I just really wanted to snowboard with him. And when he broke his shoulder, I really just I don't know, it's not the same. Sometimes it's not what you're doing, it's who you're doing it with. You know what I mean? Anyway, so Hayden didn't end up going back out snowboarding. And then after we spent like 10 or 11 days in the snow, we went back into Tokyo and we were able to do some activities there. But basically the hospital had said that as soon as you get back into Australia, you're gonna need surgery. So that brings us to the end of our trip. We got home and stuff, and I had a few days there to prep because I was going to the Eras tour, and Hayden was supposed to come with me and everything. He wasn't going to the actual tour itself, but he was gonna fly down to Sydney with me just to keep me company, and then I was gonna go to the tour with a friend. But then it so happens that Hayden's surgeon had an opening on the day of the Eras tour. So Hayden couldn't come to Sydney anymore, and obviously his shoulder was priority because it had stayed like broken for a little while. They were just worried that it was gonna heal like incorrectly or something. And so the sooner he got the surgery, the better. And oh, I've got something in my eye. Anyway, so basically if Hayden waited too long, he would risk the bone kind of healing in the wrong spot. So he had to go into surgery pretty much. I think he had like a meeting or a consultation, that's the word, a consultation on the Monday, and then on the Wednesday he was going into surgery. And yeah, that meant he couldn't come to Taylor Swift or fly or anything. And then obviously he had his surgery. The surgery went really, really well, but he had such a long recovery ahead of him. So Hayden's surgery wasn't super invasive. They kind of took the less invasive way to kind of help or to kind of fix the bone. And they ended up just suturing, which is essentially tying the bone back together in hopes that it heals properly. Hayden's only young. They didn't really want to do, you know, a full recon or anything, but he had actually dislocated the shoulder twice before and the joint was already super weak. So anyway, that's getting off track, but he had to get it sutured back together and it was a little less invasive. They literally went in through keyhole, which was it's just incredible. Like sometimes you see what people can do these days in terms of surgeries and it's just absolutely amazing. And anyway, it all went really well. He healed really well. But this meant that he was in a sling for 6 weeks. He couldn't go to work for 6 weeks. He couldn't drive for 6 weeks. And then we just had regular check-ins with his doctor just to make sure that everything was going really well. Actually, you know what? I was just about to go in with my Rare Beauty blush, but I actually recently bought the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in the shade Dusty Rose. So I really want to try new products. Like I feel like I'm using the same products all the time and I'm kind of in the mood to switch it up. So let's give this e.l.f. Camo Blush a go. I think that this is the one anyway. I have heard that this is super pigmented. So I'm just gonna go in with a little bit and see how we go. But anyway, that was a really trying time for both Hayden and I because he was in so much pain and you know, he had like little exercises for mobility and stuff to do and they just caused him so much pain, like to the point where he just physically couldn't move his arm anymore. Anyway, it was a really tough time and I'm a bit of an empath and seeing him go through that, I felt so helpless and I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but it just sucks seeing people you love injured or hurting and you just can't do anything about it. And I felt just so helpless, like trying to help him put his sling on, trying to, you know, even soap him in the shower, trying to help him wash himself. Like he was just in so much pain and it sucked big time to see him go through that. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm getting so emotional. See, I told you guys I needed a vent. Okay, let's see what this blush, let's just start with a little bit because I'm a little scared. Okay. Let's blend it out. I think I could go a little bit more, but to be honest, I have a mirror right behind you guys. That's why I keep checking. I don't know if this blends really well. Maybe it's just me. I'm trying to be really quick with blending because I feel like if it sits too long, it doesn't blend very well. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I've been really liking putting blush kind of over my nose lately. I don't know why. I kind of like just that sun-kissed look. What do you guys think? I feel like it's a very subtle blush. Like Rare Beauty might be a little bit more pigmented, but not bad. I think this was like 16 bucks or something. So good. Anyway, so all of that was happening, and I'm not gonna lie, I came back from Japan so exhausted. I got actually unwell a little bit in Japan, and I don't know what it was some sort of bug, but I kind of felt really exhausted coming back from Japan. Like, you know, you can kind of expect post-holiday to have some like post-holiday blues, but I don't know, I just felt so fatigued and there was just so much going on. And then something else happened while we were in Japan. Unfortunately, my grandma fell really unwell when we were in Japan. She was very unwell. I think she had a fall before she went into the hospital and she got sick. So while Hayden was dealing with his surgery, I was also, or my family was also going through just sickness with my grandma. I've always been really close with my grandma. So my grandma is my last grandparent in my family, and I've always been really close with her. Oh man, I do not want to ruin my makeup, I tell you. Yeah, so she was my last grandparent and she was becoming quite frail. And anyway, we were really lucky because over there, like the time difference between Japan and Australia isn't anything crazy. So we could FaceTime her and she could talk with us and everything. Like she was very switched on lady, like absolutely insanely switched on. She was 93 and her brain worked better than mine, I swear to God. Anyway, so she fell unwell and pretty much long story short, we lost my grandma in March and I miss her every single day. And it was just such a hard time, like not just losing her, but seeing the people I love in my family go through the pain. To be honest, like I haven't really had to lose someone kind of in my life. Like everyone I've lost was when I was young and probably too young to understand it. And I'm so grateful and lucky to not have had that loss in my family. Anyway, I lost my grandma and it has been really hard. Anyway, it's just been really interesting to see like kind of how I grieve because everyone grieves so differently. And at first it was kind of like a shock, you know how you just don't believe it. Like it's like, this isn't real. Like it's a nightmare that I'm gonna wake up from. I'm literally chatting away without putting on any makeup. And then now I'm kind of at this stage and I don't know if it's grief or what it is, but I'm at this stage where I'm almost experiencing a bit of anxiety from it. So in case you weren't aware, Hayden and I got engaged in Japan. I couldn't believe it. It was literally like 3 days after he fractured his shoulder. He dropped to the knee and asked me to marry him, and oh, look how beautiful that ring is. He did so good. I get so many compliments on this thing and I'm obsessed with it. It just shines so much. If you have any questions about my ring, let me know. But we got engaged and so we're planning the wedding and stuff, which has been kind of hard because obviously my grandma would have been on the guest list and stuff like that. And I feel like now I have this kind of inner anxiety of like fear of losing people. And anyway, I don't know where this is really going, but that's pretty much how I've been feeling lately. And with everything going on, I was struggling a lot with just content and filming, and it was just, I wasn't like stuck in bed or anything, but I just felt like I had nothing to give. Like I felt like I had like no energy or anything like that. And some days I do still feel that way. But basically between like end of February and April, it was just one thing after another, guys. Like it has just been a crazy year. Anyway, I'm probably like oversharing a little too much with you guys. Classic me, classic oversharer. But I basically just had a lot going on and it was just a really hard time between February and April, I suppose. But I am so freaking excited about planning engagement party, planning wedding, and I'm so freaking happy, guys. You know what? I honestly wasn't expecting it at all. So like I would have always thought when Hayden was ready to pop the question or when he was going to pop the question, I would kind of know, like, you know how they get a bit nervous or they do weird things, or maybe in Hayden's case, he would ask me like to get dressed or do something weird that he wouldn't usually ask of me, like get dressed up and go to dinner, let's go to dinner. And I was kind of waiting for him to ask me to do something with him that wasn't like his normal, I don't know, his normal routine. Like we go on date nights and stuff, but I don't know. Anyway, literally fractured the shoulder. That was a good distraction, wasn't it? I didn't even think about like, oh, so now you're gonna pop the question? Are you gonna get on the knee in the hospital? And like, I just did not even think it was going to happen at this point. Anyway, on one of the days, Hayden came up for a hot chocolate at the top of one of my favorite mountains in Japan. It's called Iwataki. And it's just beautiful. It has a good amount of like different runs and stuff, but I love going there because of the views. The views are fantastic. They even have like a little area so you can like take your dogs up there and you can let them run around in the snow and play. It's a really good mountain for those days where you don't want to go too hard and you just feel like relaxing and just doing some things other than snowboarding. And literally the day before this, I had said to Hayden, I'm so bummed because you fractured your shoulder, you're not snowboarding with me, we haven't got any photos, like I want photos. Anyway, and then he came up for hot chocolate with a friend of ours who was also having a rest day. Basically, we were having hot chocolate and stuff, and we had already had ours because they took forever to come up to the mountain. So we're like, well, let's just have it. And you know, we hadn't heard from them. We didn't know when they were coming up. Anyway, we had our hot chocolate and then the friend of ours and Hayden came up and they had then asked me, oh, Taylah, can you go inside and get us a hot chocolate? I was like, yeah, of course, I'll go in and get you a hot chocolate. Anyway, I went inside and those two were chatting and like, you know, like they were just catching up and having a chat. Anyway, I went outside and basically they had their hot chocolate. We all just chatted and stuff, and we were with a few other friends as well. And basically they had finished their morning tea and stuff, so they wanted to go back to the snow and snowboard and ski. So we're like, yeah, righto, I'm just gonna sit here with Hayden and our other friend. Anyway, some time had passed and Hayden had asked me, he just said, oh, do you wanna get a photo while we're here? And I was like, oh, yes. We had gotten a photo in this location before and it was so beautiful. So like, I didn't really think anything of it. I was like, yeah, let's get a photo. That's a great idea. You heard me. You listened to me when I said yesterday we need to get more photos. That was awesome. Anyway, we lined up because it's a very popular spot for getting photos in. And we waited, and our friend had Hayden's phone. And then I said to her, oh, do you mind taking some on my phone? Yeah, no worries. So she had both of our phones and then it was finally Hayden and I's turn. So we went to like this little boardwalk kind of, I don't know what you would call it. Anyway, this area to get photos in front of like the Japanese Alps or all of the mountains. It's so beautiful, but such a beautiful location. Anyway, we're getting photos and she was like, oh, I'm gonna do this photo, this phone. Yep. All right, this phone, because she had both of our phones and you know, it was so normal. Like there was nothing suspicious about it. Anyway, Hayden goes to me, Taylah, you wanna go just check to make sure those photos are okay? And I was like, oh yeah, good idea, because you know, you don't want a really crappy Instagram photo. So I went to go have a look to see, you know, what the photos looked like. And then our friend who was taking the photos said, oh, no, hang on. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna step back, you know, put my arm around Hayden, you know, we pose and she took a couple photos or whatever. And then all of a sudden Hayden started like dragging me down. I was just kind of being dragged down. I was like, what the is this person doing? Like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, what are you, tying your shoelace or you're taking off your backpack? Like, I don't know. Anyway, I looked down and he was on one knee and he had a ring and I lost it. I lost my shit. I don't know. I think a part of me, honestly, I feel like I really wanted to get married. It's something I've wanted for a long time. I knew like one day I'm gonna find my person and I want to get married and I want the wedding. I want to be walked down the aisle and etc, etc. Anyway, so when I saw him get down on one knee, I did not expect it at all. I was so distracted by, I don't know, just the injury and I just did not expect it at all. He showed no signs of it at all. He didn't seem nervous. There was no, like, he didn't say anything weird or that wasn't like him. And like even in the lead up to our trip, never showed any signs that he was even like planning to get a ring or planning to pop the question. Anyway, when he popped the question, I pretty much had a full-blown mentee beat. I lost it. And what was even worse was this like popular photo area also backs onto a cafe or a bakery. So there was about like 30 people sitting and, you know, lapping up the views and whatever. And literally the second Hayden like pops down to one knee, I hear someone go, "Oh my God, he's proposing." And everyone's like, like gasping and like, yeah, like it was just insane. Anyway, I was just in shock. And like, I was in so much shock, I didn't even like say anything for a little bit. And I just cried. I cried and I just could not believe that it was happening, because I just didn't think it was ever going to happen. I don't know how to describe it, but you just start to think like, maybe this is never gonna happen for me. Like, am I ever gonna find that person who will get on one knee? And then I met Hayden and we got along really well, and yeah, that's a whole another story. But yeah, so he dropped down on one knee and I literally was in my full like snowboarding gear, and I literally, the only way I could tell this poor man waiting for my answer, the only way I could tell him was just to go. It was just a nod, and I was just in shock. Obviously I said yes. I just did not expect it at all. He caught me way off guard, and all these people, like when I said yes, were like, way, like, woo. And even before I said yes, there were people chanting, say yes, say yes. Like, I was like, what is happening? It was honestly perfect. It was my dream proposal, and I feel on top of the world. I really do. And he is sneaky. Anyway, I'm so excited because we have booked our engagement party. It is happening this year. We booked the venue and it is so beautiful. I will definitely share more with you guys when it gets closer, but it is such a perfect location. It is a place that Hayden and I both really love. It's gonna be great to have all of our closest friends and family there, and I cannot wait. I booked in the styling, and then this venue also is like pretty much all inclusive. So they have the bar already in the premises. They have, you know, food and all of that. I organized our cake, and I just cannot wait. We've put deposits down for everything for it, and then we will put down the final like payments for everything soon-ish, like maybe in the next month or two. And then the wedding. So the first thing everyone asks you when you get married, or when you get engaged, is, when is the wedding? And Hayden and I don't really know when the wedding is going to be. I mean, we do. So we originally were going to look at doing 2026. So we're gonna wait a little while because we just wanted to take the financial pressure off of ourselves, because as you guys are aware, or I'm sure you're aware anyway, weddings ain't cheap, especially these days with inflation and everything. Like, it is just crazy. So we wanted to give ourselves plenty of time just to save up and, you know, plan everything. And we were originally looking at 2026. However, I think we're gonna try for 2025. We're just in the process of kind of figuring out financials. That's pretty much the main thing. We are looking at destination wedding. So we're looking at having our wedding not in Australia. I'm not gonna reveal too much just yet, because I obviously want to start booking things and everything before I say anything, because chances are, well, there is a chance there that we might have to wait. And we're just trying to figure out budget and whatever. So we're going through all of that now, but I'm so excited. We're gonna do destination wedding, and it's gonna be very small. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably gonna say, oh, if it's that financially hard, just elope. But we are doing like the closest thing you possibly can to eloping. We're gonna have a very small, intimate wedding of like max 30 people, just to cut down on costs. And then we're just gonna make it a big old holiday for everyone. So it's a good excuse to get our families to a location they haven't been yet or haven't been in a while. And it's just a good excuse to get them over there, to obviously celebrate, you know, Hayden and I, but also to have a break and have some family time, because I feel like it's rare these days that we all go on like a big family holiday. It happens less and less because everyone's getting older and everyone's doing their own thing. So I really want to like have that with my family, those memories, you know, like not just my family, but Hayden's family, you know. Anyway, so that's pretty much the update with all of that. I have been going crazy on Pinterest. Pinterest boards. I've been making like mood boards of just inspo. I know pretty much everything I want at this wedding, or how I want it. What do you call it? Theme, what styling. I already have a venue in mind. So it's just a matter of just figuring out, would it be achievable or doable, I think is the right word, to have a wedding next year. I'm just trying to be real with you guys, because I feel like people don't talk about the side of things, about how financially stressful it can really be. And you know, it's all well and good to just, let's just have a wedding, but a lot of like behind the scenes planning, budgeting really goes into it. And yeah, I feel like we just need to make sure that what our dream wedding is doable in the time frame given. And we obviously want to give our friends and family plenty of notice if we are asking them to travel. And yeah, I don't know, that's pretty much the update for the wedding. Not that there's much, but our main goal right now is to try and figure out a date. If we are able to have it in 2025, I'm gonna start booking venue. Venue will be first and then all the other vendors. But our engagement party is happening and I'm so excited. It is going to be such a fun night. Our engagement party is a little bit bigger, so that is our chance to bring all of our family and friends in and celebrate together, and then we'll just have a very small wedding, and I think it'll be beautiful that way. Of course, if you guys have any tips and tricks when it comes to wedding planning or anything like that, I am so happy to hear them. Feel free to leave them in the comments below, or you can always DM me on Instagram. I know there's a lot of opinions out there when it comes to, one second, when it comes to weddings and stuff. And I guess from what I've learned so far, if you are also planning a wedding, or even if you one day want to get married, I think my number one tip would be make sure you and your fiance or partner are happy. You need to have a wedding that you both are happy with. It is your day. You know, everyone else's opinions are welcomed. You know, you can always consider other people's opinions, and you know, you can, I don't know what the right word is, but what I'm trying to say is it's your day. It's your wedding, and don't let anyone tell you how to have your wedding, because you don't want to look back and go either A, I hate my wedding, or B, I regret not doing something. I mean, there might always be something you're going to regret when it comes to weddings, like when you look back, but you don't want to have someone else's wedding. You want to have yours and your partner's wedding. And I think it's so important to just at the end of the day, ask yourself, what is it that we want? And there's going to be opinions and, you know, stuff like that along the way, but you just got to be happy. You got to be happy with the day you're having. And I think that's my biggest piece of advice. But yeah, you got to have a wedding. I'm just having my water. You got to have the wedding that you want, you know? Anyway, guys, I have been chatting your freaking ears off. And I just wanted to kind of say that, like, I'm not making this video for sympathy or, you know, to be like, oh, poor me or anything like that. I mainly wanted to make this video because I wanted to update you guys on my life. I just feel like I can talk to you guys, and it kind of helps me sitting here and like unpacking everything that's kind of just lingering in my brain. I've had so much going on this year. It has been, you know, ups and downs, and you know, it's been a roller coaster ride. I mainly just wanted to make this video to sit down and chat with you guys, because you guys feel like my family at this point, and it's really nice to talk to you about things. And I don't know, that's pretty much my, I lied. I freaking lied. I haven't put on this monstrosity. Oh my God. I haven't put on my highlighter. Oh, my little heart breaks. Ugh, look at that. Just gonna put it over my setting spray because we forgot. Pretty much, there's no other reason other than the fact that I purely forgot. Okay, now my makeup is done, but I hope you guys enjoyed kind of sitting down with this little chit chat with me. It kind of feels like a FaceTime call. So maybe we should call this like a FaceTime get ready with me, where I can just come on here and chat your guys' ears off. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this, but thank you so much for getting ready with me. Thank you for listening to me chat about all the things. If you have any requests for any videos, let me know. If you'd like me to talk a little bit more, maybe later on about wedding, you want me to give you updates, let me know. But thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you were well, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I will chat to you soon. Love you guys.